Remember, today we're talking relationships. It's a Friday, and we're going to have great counselors in the studio to give us more advice.
Most definitely, because you do know that it appears that most successful women have to marry men who are much younger than they are. There's always a friction that comes with it, but
really?
yeah, but it depends on how you deal with it. Remember, we're talking about taking what life throws at you and making the most of it. So it's really about how you deal with it. So today we'll be talking about how to earn the respect if you're a younger person married to an older person. How to earn the respect of the
if you're a younger
guy. Yes, married to an elderly woman. How to?
Do you mind if let's say somebody you marry is younger than you?
I do mind.
Okay.
I do mind, but it depends. There are people who are younger, but who are also very matured. So I do mind. But it's all about maturity. There are people who are older, but who are children. I mean, they are kids at heart. So definitely, it's a very important discussion that we're going to have. So you can phone in and have your say, or if you have any questions, you can throw it to the counselor. We'll be having relationship coaches Amos Kevin Annan, as usual, and Mama Kathy. They'll join us for that conversation. How to earn the respect of an elderly wife if you are younger, and for an elderly wife, how to, necessarily show respect to your younger.
And during the segment, we'll try and open the phone lines to get your views and for you to share your experiences as well. For me, I wouldn't mind if I have an older woman as a partner. Or
well,
wife.
you don't have a choice, actually. I mean, you can't even be a part of the conversation because you're not a part of it, if you get what I mean.
Yeah.
Because you're already like used material, if you get what I mean.
No, I'm used material.
You're used material.
No, I'm being used material.
Used that is still being used, so you're not a part of that conversation.
Yeah.
I mean, you have to leave that conversation for us.
Okay.
Exactly. So also today, we'll be talking about malaria because the world is marking World Malaria Day in just a few days. So ahead of that, we'll be having a conversation on what the day means to our medics and what activities have been lined up for that celebration. We'll be also at the laboratory at the Accra Psychiatric Hospital, where it's in a bad state as usual. We'll pass by that place and bring you some updates from there.
So all these details right here, and just in case you don't know, you can watch us live as we stream on our page on Facebook, Journey on TV. We have a handle on Twitter, Journey on TV. Personally, we have our social handles as well. On Instagram,
it's Gifty_Appiah.
No.
Okay. On Instagram, it's Gifty_Appiah. On Facebook, it is Gifty_Appiah. And on Twitter, it's Gifty_Appiah without the H in the ando.
It's always without an H and without an ando. Okay.
Let's do the net newspaper review. Today, you start with the Daily Graphic.
Oh. Okay. We start with the Daily Graphic. On the front page, we have Kumasi City Mall opens. Bum. Bagum. And then we have 51 districts identified for one district, one factory, according to the president. But the main story is media partners paint Ghana red today to raise voices against Galamsey. You can see Gifty in red, or in solidarity with the partnership.
Of course.
Of making sure that Ghana is rid of Galamsey. We're not saying that mining is bad, but we just have to do it in a more environmentally
friendly manner.
Fantastic. I was saying that I know there's a lot of L and R in there, so just trying to take my
in the more friendly,
environmentally
friendly manner.
Friendly.
I want to say.
All right, so let's get on to the back page. It has a story about 30 Yalolo bus drivers receiving special training, and apparently 2 also died in renewed hostilities between Nkonya and Lavanyo. We broke the news right here on this channel early yesterday morning. But more importantly, we also brought you a great conversation on the subject. But this one is just a flashback of meetings to broker peace among the two factions. But Charlie, a year down the line, they're back into the bush, throwing arms at themselves.
It's a very difficult situation
Yes.
that the country is having to deal with. Yesterday, we understood that there were some security meetings going on, and there were talks about government buying that land, which over which the conflict exists, so that it will end the conflict. We're not very sure because we couldn't get a briefing from the minister after the meeting. So we need to wait and see how that one goes as well. I have with me the Daily Guide newspaper banner headline. Mahama left huge debt, and that story has been attributed to President Akufo-Addo. It comes with a picture of President Akufo-Addo and Omahene Osunyai, Nana Bosome Aso Inquiry, and the Queen Mother. That story is on page 238, and also on the Daily Guide. Roland, what's wrong? Seriously. Okay. Also, still on the Daily Guide, JB family cries for fresh probe, and it comes with a picture of the Daniel Asiedu, the guy who's said to have killed him, and the late JB Dankwa Edu. Another story: NDC lied over 2.3 billion bond, and that comes with a picture of Kesa Latoforsen. 3,000 ghost names removed from Ye. That story is also in the Daily Guide. A center spread: men are cheats by nature, and that's according to Maurice Ampel. He says, I have a friend who can never sleep with a woman twice. If he has an affair with you, he tells me that he cannot erect for the second time, so he's always hunting for fresh girls. Roland, before you married, were you cheating? I mean, not like cheating. Were you seeing more than one woman? Yeah.
Before I married.
Have you ever seen more than one woman at a time?
No. Before I married, no. Nothing. I didn't do anything. Virgin straight, yeah.
But after you married?
After I married?
Yeah.
Is it a counseling session? After I married,
everybody can tell the answer.
After I married,
everybody can tell the answer.
No.
So Akatampa, Maurice Ampal there with that funny story, but you can read that story for yourself. And in the center spread, there's still 5 most expensive cars in the world, and those stories are all there. I'm trying to find Akosia. I knew I will find her. Okay, so there it is. 100 days. 103 goals, and there's a picture of I don't know who this caricature looks like. I'm not sure. It looks does it look like the president or the vice president? Looks like the president, right?
Yes.
Okay. So the goal, the 103 goals. The goals are in the goal post already.
That's the president.
And he's hitting the 103rd goal, I suppose, into the goal post there. Akosia, quite simple. For Akosia. Anyway, so that story is there. And JB Dankwa's family, I can read for you the first paragraph. The family of Joseph Boachi Dankwa Edu, Member of Parliament for Abuakwa North in the Eastern Region, he was murdered in cold blood last year, has made a passionate appeal to President Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo to order the security agencies to open the whole case. Again, that is a very interesting developing story. We will be following to bring you much more on that. That will be it for the Daily Guide newspaper. Roland, what have you got?
I have the Ghanaian Times. It has on the front page, Alavanyo gunmen are allegedly killed 2 Nkonya citizens. The story is on page 3 of the paper. $95 million Kumasi City Mall opens. Where is it located in Kumasi?
I have no idea. We can read the first paragraph perhaps.
All right. So the story is on page 26. I was thinking Fred Potterfield will tell us where it's located. But apparently even the malls in Accra he doesn't attend. So we don't know.
Asqua is in Kumasi. It's in Asqua.
No, it's not in Asqua.
It's in Asqua. That's the information I'm getting.
Sir.
Yes, but let's read it.
He said that we'll call on Asqua. 18,500 square meter shopping mall located at Asqua incorporates 74 shops and restaurants and offers services including grocery and food stuff, beauty and wellness items. Gift will be going there for wellness, electronics and telecoms,
I will.
fashion and clothing, entertainment as well as pharmaceutical among the lot. Somebody who will be going for grooming is Derek Ekosam, a lead producer. He needs grooming.
I agree.
Front page, we have Minister blasts Minerals Commission over Galamsey, and you have a picture there of John Peter Meu, Minister of Lands and Natural Resources. I remember in the elections.
What?
Because of the politicking, he was called Jean-Pierre. By, is it Kwakwa Nyidoho?
I see.
Well, on the back page, we have Gender Minister unhappy about disbursement of LEAP And apparently, the Minister for Gender, Children and Social Protection, Madam Otiku Afisa-Jama, has bemoaned the difficulties some beneficiaries of the LEAP program go through during payment of their stipend and even the process of collection. She therefore tasked financial institutions contracted to effect such payments to provide decent services to the vulnerable. Otherwise, the sector ministry will be compelled to descend heavily on them. Okay, so those are the stories we have on the back page of worthy reading. And right now we have to look at the Finder.
I have the Finder newspaper, banner headline 2016, more Ghanaians go abroad. Kwame Suatechi is Controller General of the Ghana Immigration. Yes. Techi, wow. Kwame Suatechi, Ghana Immigration Service. Many are in search of greener pastures, so they are leaving the country. Call it the brain drain, whichever way you look at it.
How come when you went to the UK, you never decided to live there or something? You decided to come back?
Well, everybody has their own. Everybody has their own
aspirations
in life. Yeah. And by the way, Echo reminds me also that I had a job waiting for me. So.
Well, in the UK, you could have worked. Let's say in the health sector, looking after old people, or you know, done some bit of journalism.
I actually work.
I'm being realistic because I did work. Sector,
I did work for. I did work for the ABN TV.
Yes, I heard that.
I did a political show for them.
What was it paying for them?
Of course, seriously, of course. And then I was doing a bit of radio. Could you have lived on that
money fully being in the UK?
I was doing TV and I was doing radio as well. Wow. And I was doing a couple of volunteer works. You know,
you should have continued.
Schools, etc.
Yeah, but chance
really?
So far,
the green, the grass looks greener on the other side all the time, but it is not.
Echo says that I went abroad, Liberia, I came back. Liberia, they say Ghana crank.
It is not, but I mean, I'll tell you.
Please, I beg you, it's not without.
But I'll tell you one thing. You can make it in this country, and there's so much opportunities, there's so much money in this country. People are just not taking advantage of it. If you open your eye and if you just go and search for them, you find those opportunities and you make something good out of them. You can make it here in Ghana. Look, there are thousands, I mean, hundreds of companies, foreign companies who are in this country making money and repatriating the exports, the
resources outside
the profits back to their country, and it's outrageous. I mean, we can do it, but we sit here and allow people to come make the money and they take it back to their country, and we stay in underdevelopment.
Perfectly, it's one of the reasons why we've been in Ghana throughout this period.
Anyway, there are opportunities out there. Just look for them, and please. Sure. Let governments let there be an environment that the enabling environment. Let the enabling environments you know, thrive so that people will be able to make it here, and Fantastic. They don't go killing themselves. And
Gifty, I love you too much.
I love you too much. And doing
Thanks
all
for the inspiration this morning.
Anyway,
I'm remaining here.
It's still with the Finder, and that story was that more Ghanaians are going abroad. Many are in search of greener pastures, so they're leaving the country and going to work elsewhere. U.S. Ambassador pays courtesy call on the energy minister, and I find that interesting because of the issues we're having with the Millennium
Challenge Compact.
Challenge Compact about power provision, etc. So it'll be very interesting. Otumfuo commissions 95 million Kumasi City Mall. That story is also there. And in the center, no, this is not the center spread, but Ideal Trade Limited supports Joy FM Easter Soup Kitchen. Comes with a picture of Nathaniel Atto and a couple of people, people who came to donate things for us for the Easter Soup Kitchen. Thank you to the team from Ideal. And okay, government will develop agriculture, President Akufo-Addo, and it goes on and on and on. This is the Finder newspaper. But something quick here, since we're talking relationship today, don't ruin your relationship with planning a wedding. And 7 pre-marriage relationship tips for women. Can I read for you the first one?
Yes, I'm interested.
The first pre-marriage relationship tips for women. Okay, so the first one is first learn to live alone. I do live alone anyway. So first, learn to live alone. And 2, have your finances in order. 3, discuss your expectations for children. 4, learn from observing his background. 5, make sure you have the same values and ideals. And 6, be patient and forgiving.
Yeah. I
Very
think yesterday we
interesting.
talked something about the right time and being patient and all that.
We did?
Yeah, I think so. You
Okay.
forgot it.
But it's good
get
to be
to-
patient,
Yes, sure.
but also not to make yourself so vulnerable that people take advantage of you. I don't like people who take advantage of people. If you take advantage of people, that's the end of me and you.
That's right. I told you.
Okay.
Modern women, I know my rights. Now, anyway, why? Oh, yeah, dispatch now.
No.
Oh, yeah, dispatch. Dispatch is the last people we're looking at. Pristia Huni Valley, Takwa, and Amenfi East most affected. Apparently, Galamsey activities in the eastern region, western region. Seriously serious. An MPP abandoned supporter after a rally accident. When you're following the political parties too, you just have to make sure you keep yourself well. You should be in
Your
good
life
stead.
is worth more.
Please
than
keep
whatever
yourself
it is
well
they'll
so that
give
when
you.
you're in power, you can enjoy the power. When you hurt yourself, people who are able
Someone
to enjoy
else
the
will chop for you after you've done all the work. Now we can do
Oh,
that.
no, you know.
Honor.
Oh, no. All right, so what do
That's
we
it
do?
online news review.
Okay,
News
so
review.
we're looking at My Joy Online. The
Okay,
first
shall we
time.
have My Joy Online producers, directors?
Fred was listening to us, so
You forgot. Okay. Just so you know, let me just quickly remind you that we'll be talking relationship. It appears that people who tend to marry, especially women who tend to marry men much younger than they are, have to do a little bit of work. Not to say that people who marry people older or people of the same age when they get married don't have issues. They do have issues, but especially in our part of the world, this appears to. And I find it interesting anyway. Why is it so difficult for people to accept it? Because maybe I cannot deal with it, like I said, because of how society makes us feel about it.
yeah. But do you have to disclose your age?
Not
between you?
necessarily, but it comes with
Unless
the
maybe
behavior.
it's glaring. If it's glaring, you know that or maybe this woman is older than the man. If it becomes too obvious, fine.
My issue is with the maturity, because sometimes the age reflects the maturity sometimes, most of the time. There are people who can just live beyond their age. I mean, you can tell.
Sure.
So anyway, we'll have
But
that
I think
conversation.
also we need to have an open mind and not think that if, let's say, a woman who is older dating a younger man, would always be having the perception that maybe the younger person or the younger man is not mature.
Well, that's also an
because,
issue. But it's all about the heart, isn't it?
Well, the heart first, but beyond the heart are matters of living. Because the love comes at one side, and sometimes you have to deal with
It not
reality.
be love you go chop.
Yeah, not be only love you go chop.
Not be only love you go
And
chop.
even the love save money for day inside, So
Okay.
you need all.
So online is ready now. The first story. Volta Region House of Chiefs suspends in Konya and Alabanyo Chiefs. Oh, really? Indefinitely. I see. So that's the development on that story. The House has suspended the Paramount Chief and Queen Mothers of Nkonya and Alabanyo indefinitely for their inability to maintain peace between the two traditional areas. Sounds like a tough measure which will perhaps work. It will either work or worsen the situation, but hopefully it works. That second story will be open letter to IGP Asante Appiah and Adam Rees is an American journalist and is writing to the IGP based on his experience working in Ghana. Oh, I remember that guy, Adam Rees. Yeah. He was in Ghana.
Bema.
Yes, he was in Ghana in 2012, I believe. Yeah. Roland, I won't do it all alone today.
Okay. So the next story we're doing, not doing it all alone. Police officer killed, 2 wounded in Paris shooting. And we know this one took place late last night. And apparently somebody were told having an AK-47 or what known in Europe as a Kashelnikov just opened his gun and killed 2 people just around the Champs-Élysées, that monument in Paris.
Okay, next story will be
stop charging as well as sacking final year students over fees, or and that's a warning from the GES. Apparently, some final year students fearing intimidation, being denied food, and even possibly being sacked from school are being forced to pay fees for the 3rd term, which is not yet in session. It's an interesting story if you take
and yesterday I heard some
reading.
of them talking on Newsnight.
It's quite intriguing. I don't know the rationale, but I know perhaps also it's premised on the fact that for many final year students, paying fees becomes a difficulty for many of them.
Not really. Some of them deliberately, I mean,
Yes.
if you're in
No,
school,
I mean,
you know,
it's a
some
deliberate-
deliberately decide
I'm not talking
to
about
pay.
the difficulty in terms of their parents.
Okay.
They just don't pay.
Yes. So the idea is that let's get our money
You
before
commit to them.
before they go. But that's, you see, that's the foundation of dishonesty. The dishonest. We live in a country where people are just so dishonest. You can't trust people. They give you time, and they give you 4 o'clock, and the next thing you know, it's a 6 o'clock.
Yeah.
So there's this ingrained attitude of dishonesty
in us.
among us, you know, so you can't trust people to pay. And they do that because over the time, people have gone through the system, allowed to write their exams and not pay, okay? So if you're having a difficulty, they can allow you to pay, but people go through the system. Once they have the certificates, what's next? They don't pay.
Yeah.
So that's where it's coming from, but that's also wrong.
In my time, you couldn't have accessed on the web because the internet was not, back in the late 90s, it was not. So you couldn't have accessed your results on the net.
Okay, so you go and...
So you definitely would have to go to the school.
Okay.
Let's say in 3 months' time when your results are in. But now you can access the results on the internet and decide to go and gallivant in town, go and apply for schools and save enough and even make profits on your savings before you come and pay your fees. And it's keeping the schools and the way they have to administer the students in great difficulty. I think that we don't have to be hypocrites. We should know that this exists. And so the managers of the schools are facing these problems. And the Ghana Education Service needs to tackle this with the parents.
Well, they're facing the problem, but I'm not sure that's the best way of dealing with the problem, where you prevent people from writing the exams just because they're not paying. Anyway, free SHS is here, so hopefully that will deal with all of these issues.
It's not true.
Well, we'll wait and see. September is just around the corner, isn't it?
Anyway, we'll see how that goes.
All right.
So we have to get a close on this chapter, but let's go to the BBC.
Chinese government in full support of anti-Kalamse fights. That's according to the minister, the Minister of Lands and Natural Resources. And the 6th story will be Jackie Ankra back to music after 16 years. Jackie Ankra was my mate at GIJ. We're doing a top-up program there.
Wow.
So there she is.
Congratulations
to her. I'm happy for her. IMF optimistic the government's debt management strategies would help reduce public debts. That's coming from the spring meetings in Washington, D.C. And the final story there will be Bisakede honored by Netherlands Embassy. Congratulations to him. What is our top story, by the way? Iyoko, something that has to do with Iyoko. The top story. That is Iyoko joins probe of fraudulent withdrawal of allowance at Yei. Okay, so those stories are there. Why don't you make your way to myjoyonline.com and try and have a read for yourself. Today, that's all about the online review that we can do. Benedict Owusu is standing by with sports.
And he's up next.